going on, guys? Jurassic here. Today we're back to Marvel Spider-Man.
You know what I like about you, kid? You're always getting better.
Gee, thanks, creepy stalker guy.
You can call me Taskmaster.
'Cause you keep leaving me tasks? That's kinda on the nose.
There's a group of mercenaries committing crimes across the city.
These mercenaries wouldn't happen to be your mercenaries, would they?
No. All I know is they're getting paid well for their work. Unless you stop them, that is.
What's in it for you?
I get to watch and learn.
Hey, MJ, what's up? You okay?
I'm fine. Combing through Oscorp records. Hey, this is random, but you remember that trip we took to Staten Island with Harry?
To find the best pizza in the city? Yeah. 10-hour odyssey for burnt toast with cold American cheese. How could I forget?
Something about all these old Oscorp files made that day pop into my head. Harry was so excited about riding the ferry. Just made me think about how much simpler things were back then. No jobs, no supervillains. We could throw away a whole day looking for bad pizza just 'cause. Now it feels like if we take a nap, the world will fall apart.
Yeah, this adult thing is rough. But I guess the work we do means today's kids can have their own Staten Island adventures. In safety. Kind of a circle of life thing.
Circle of bad pizza. Yeah, you're right. That's a good way to look at it. Thanks, Pete.
Spider-Man, here to lend a hand?
Thought you might need one, officer.
You don't know the half of it. Never seen anything like this devil's breath stuff. Forensics is having a hell of a time.
News reports say this is where Otto released Devil's Breath. Might have left some residue I can track.
Okay, so that'd be going up at the very top, right? Norman Osborn, a better mayor for a better New York. I don't get it. Oh, behind it.
On this sign. Maybe I can isolate it.
Okay, so it looks like we have our own little genetic sample around here.
This looks promising.
So we need to have two thin and then a big one. So let's see. Yeah, we get the gist. So I mean, these bars technically work, but we need two of them. All right, so we're going to need a single by itself over here on the right. That should complete that side. This side, we're going to need to have three different bars relatively close together. Maybe something like that?
Oscorp's modified CPF-1. Definitely Devil's Breath.
I thought we already had the genetic sample.
Trail goes in a few directions. Need to find the right one.
All right, so we'll go right first and then left afterwards. So this one branches up the building. This looks promising. Come on, super speed it up.
Trail jumps between these buildings. Trail leads down into those vents. What was Otto doing up here? Should be a door or an access hatch around here.
We also have a backpack up here too. But before we actually do that, let's just go and grab this backpack since this is right here. And then we'll just hop down to the vent.
This paper on neurotechnology. This got me the job with Dr. Octavius.
So has he figured out that we're Spider-Man yet? Oh, no, wait, what?
Well, this is moody. Must be some way to hit the lights.
All right, so let's see. Light trail. We got a generator over here, so let's go ahead and swap over to our electric webs.
Let there be light.
Nice.
Was Otto using this as a staging ground? Chaos of the prison break would have been perfect cover to move in.
Well, he definitely hates Osborn.
Norman. Feel like I can't turn around without seeing his face. He smiles for the cameras, collects his accolades, and keeps his boot heel pressed against my neck. Why can't anyone else see how selfish he is? How reckless? How evil? If only they could be made to see the Norman I know. The man behind the mask.
So he mostly just wants Osborn to look like a villain, even though he's turned into a villain himself doing that.
Otto's been studying Sable's tech for weaknesses.
Now, did he study it, or did he give Sable that? That's something that I do kind of want to answer.
Mac Gargan, aka Scorpion, aka Crazy Pants McCrazy. Looks like Otto recorded messages for his crew.
It's rare for me to admit this, Mr. Gargan. Clearing your debts was more difficult than I anticipated. You're in arrears to some demanding individuals. But once the reservoir job is finished, your financial obligations will be finished as well. Otto Octavius is nothing if not persuasive.
But he is broke, so unless his game plan is to rob a bank eventually, he's not going to be able to pay the rest of his crew.
My second favorite Russian.
Alexei, I've followed your career with great interest. The world sees you as a witless dullard. I see a warrior with a poet's heart. I know you desire freedom from the battlesuit you're sealed inside. Help me achieve my goals, and freedom shall be yours.
Wait, so Rhino doesn't actually want to be Rhino?
Otto developed a corrosive to free Rhino from his suit. A certain government agency spent years trying and failing to do that. Only took Otto a few days.
But why would he want to be out of his suit?
Old man Vulture. I've tangled with him more than anyone else here.
I'm not too worried about him.
Vulture's wings gave him spinal cancer, and Otto's developing an experimental treatment to save him.
Gallium nerve for interface? Okay, so he has no message. Hold on. I have no clue what that says. Are we actually able to click on the picture?
Adrian, what bitter irony that your miraculous wings should have wrought such horrors on your body. Thankfully, you are now working for me. When our work is settled, the treatment I've developed will cure you. You won't shuffle off this mortal coil just yet, my friend.
So, obviously, the arms sort of made him a little bit corrupt, but at the same time, is it actually making him smarter? So it seems like he was having a lot of trouble trying to develop things, and now magically he's actually able to solve things relatively quickly. Alright, what do we got next?
Live wire that one.
Transforming said matter into energy.
Max, when you first conveyed your dream to me, I thought you insane. Pure energy. But as I dove deeper into the problem, I discovered a way to give us both what we desire. I promise you, when we are done, you will be pure energy. Or so close to it as to make the difference irrelevant.
Electro's big pipe dream is to become pure energy. Doc actually managed to modify his harness to get a little closer to that goal.
Okay, so we got a map over here.
Otto must have used this map to plan, but it's blank. Unless there's something here I'm missing.
Of course you're missing. We're going to need like a black light or something. Right there.
Huh, nothing happened. Must be a way to get that lamp on.
Okay, so the power grid comes up and around. Boom. Take this off the wall.
There we go. Hidden markings. Otto's tasked
Icarus.
the villains to destroy Oscorp holdings throughout the city. He's trying to take apart Norman's empire piece by piece.
Okay, so the Vulture's here. Electro, Rhino, Scorpion. Two different ones. I'm assuming he's going to be the one going for Oscorp unless everyone's just working towards it.
Lee's going after the Devil's Breath anti-serum. Using something called Icarus? What's Vulture doing in Times Square? Electro's disabling Oscorp power plants. Makes sense. Rhino's targeting Oscorp's shoreline properties. Which is he hitting first? And why? Scorpion must be trying to poison the city's reservoir. Another Oscorp-owned property.
But yet you can't rule what is already dead.
Oscorp has snaked itself throughout the city. Power, communication, public safety. Norman made his company essential, but also fragile. If a disaster were to occur, and a few small pressure points were tweaked, it would all fall apart. The public would see Norman for what he is, a leech on their lives. How many men would I need? Well, let's see. First, some kind of disaster. A hurricane, an earthquake, or a plague. Next, assaults on Oscorp's power grid and emergency relief send the city into chaos. Let the people see the truth about Norman. Yes, just a handful of men. No more than a half dozen. A sinister 6.
This is him basically figuring out how many people he needs.
Icarus, this is it.
Hello, Spider-Man. We've never been properly introduced. I'm
Otto Octavius. There is no Icarus, is there?
No. Martin needs no assistance to secure the anti-serum. Icarus was a ruse to get you into position.
Into position? Huh?
I hate when you accidentally go into the right thing in the game. We almost were able to find everything in that room.
Need
What's going on?
So refreshing to work for a man like Octavius. Backup plans for his backup plans.
MJ, hey!
Pete? Are you okay? What's happening?
Traffic's rough. Listen, Lee's gunning for the anti-serum. We need to find Oscorp's Devil's Breath lab before he does.
On it right now. Pull up every building permit in the city. If there's a record of the lab, I'll find it.
That's great. Okay, talk soon, MJ.
I hope there was nothing cool that we missed.
Trap failed? Softened him up. Time for plan B. Teamwork, beautiful.
Alright, so it looks like we're going to have a little bit of issues fighting this dude, but we should be able to do it.
That was almost heartwarming, Electro. You really grew in prison, didn't you?
Let's see. Are we able to swap over to Impact Lab, maybe? Here we go. Nice!
I can damage him if I web the transformer.
Ooh.
Pete, you're up.
No, Adrian, it's me, Spider-Man.
What are you babbling about?
Nobody ever gets my jokes.
Our long feud ends tonight, insect.
Okay, so he's not too bad. All you gotta do is sit here and dodge in the right time, then you'll be able to zip straight to him. Come on, old man, where you got? Alright, so Electro's up at the top. Are we fighting both of them now?
Spider.
Yeah, I'm trying to wipe this like, yeah. Okay, so it looks like you actually are able to toss that.
Time to do some damage.
Spider-Man! I must break you.
No thanks.
You got it! You got my joke! I'm so happy I can almost stop fighting! Almost!
Alright, so both of these guys are going to be working together, so we're definitely going to have to find a nice little pattern here. The vulture is able to toss things at us, and we can actually toss them back if we're fast enough.
The vigor of youth, the wisdom of experience, a fine pair.
Woo.
Just like oil and water, sure.
Finish him.
got it. You know what? Forget I said anything.
See, a little bit too slow. How are we supposed to get both of these guys, though? There's just so much stuff focusing on right now. Woo!
Need to get him to drop his guard first.
Alright, so let's see here. All part of the plan. Don't worry about it. Boom! I mean, as long as we take one of them out, I feel like the other one won't be too bad.
Outside of my feelings.
Come on, hit me. Alright, so Vulture's zipping around up here. Let's see. A little bit close. What is the health on this dude, man?
Messing with you now, right?
Alright, so he's zipping away once again. I'm assuming we're just supposed to be beating both these guys up. I hope we're not supposed to be focusing on one or the other. It doesn't seem like it. So I think they just have crazy health, which, I mean, that makes sense. They are one of the main bosses. But we're putting an end to it. Alright, he's a little bit too far away. I was really hoping that we could just sit here and toss that over to him, but it didn't work.
Nothing more than luck.
Finish him.
Need to catch my breath. Take over, Electro.
No. What?
No problem, Pete.
We might have accidentally got stuck on his wing. It was all part of the plan. Alright, so there we go. So he's going to zip across over to the next generator. All of our webs magically miss. There we go. Finally. Whew. Sayonara, sucker. I thought we killed you.
He doesn't stand a chance. He doesn't stand a chance.
Alright, so hold on. So let's web him up. Jump down on him. I think we're going to focus on him instead of Vulture this time around.
To be the pessimist, but I don't think you guys are assessing this situation accurately.
Woo. Come on, Spider-Man, just shoot down. I believe in you.
So far out of your league.
Let's see. Boom, 3 webs.
You know I'm just messing with you now, right?
There we go. Sweet.
One down, one to go.
Alright, just Vulture. We can handle Vulture.
We done this dance, Adrian. A dozen? 2 dozen?
So the problem was our webs weren't actually sitting there always locking onto the generator, and that's where we were having some issues with. We can beat you up, though. Hold on, yeah. Go. Psych. I definitely feel like he's a little bit weaker compared to the other guy. Electro? Yeah. Which, I mean, it said he had a bad back.
What's happening?
Electro's been grounded.
Spider-Man, I presume. If you really cared about this city, you'd be helping me expose Osborn for the criminal he is.
By killing innocent people?
I would have restored the power.
You're sick. You need help.
I have all the help I need, and we will not stop until Norman gets what he deserves.
He should have held on to that because they could have tracked it down and maybe found wherever he's hiding out at. For the next place?
I hate it when they team up. Just need to catch my breath. Yuri, Vulture and Electro are down. 4 to go.
I saw. Also noticed a rooftop in Times Square exploded. Wouldn't happen to be related, would it?
Nothing gets by you. It was Octavius' staging ground. He's using the villains to pull apart Oscorp. Vulture and Electro were targeting power plants. Scorpion's going after water treatment. Not sure about Rhino yet. Something along the shoreline.
That's good enough to start. I assume you're going after Scorpion?
Yeah, city's already on the brink. If we lose clean water, we might never come back. I'll update you when I make progress.
Sounds like a plan.
Ah, nuts. Hate it when they lie in wait. I should check on Miles.
Hey, Pete, you okay?
That's what I was gonna ask you. I'm fine, but you and May are in the middle of it.
We're busy, but people need help. And I'd rather be doing something than waiting around for somebody else to fix things, you know?
Yeah, I heard that. Just make sure you protect yourself. Mask and gloves. And rest every now and then. While that goes double for May.
Nobody can make that woman take a break when she doesn't want to. But I'll do my best.
Thanks, Miles. Give May my love. And be safe. There's the reservoir. No sign of Scorpion. Better take a closer look.
This does seem like it's ramping up quite a bit of the bad guys already.
Mary dressed like a scorpion, where would I be?
Behind you! Me, I'd end it now. But Octavius is paying, and he wants to torture you. Which I respect.
Damn it! What did he inject me with?
So he wants us to stay alive at this point in the game.
What the... Is that a sea of poison? Can't be. This can't be real. Must be the poison. But I can't take any chances. Gotta get to higher ground and analyze whatever he injected me with.
The problem is we have to rely on buildings and things like that to actually lift us up normally. Right now we're sort of latching onto trees, which is somewhat working out for us. We dipped our toes in the water just a little bit. And now we seem to be a little bit safer now, so that's good. So we can definitely just run straight up the building and we should be good to go.
Be safe for a minute. Need to analyze the neurotoxin so I can create an antidote.
Surely he knows he's hallucinating though.
Some upgrades.
Alright, so we got 2 on the left. Some fragments contain subtractive lines. But a subtractive line overlaps the absorption line, they can cancel out. Ooh, that's interesting. We can subtract the one on the left and the one in the middle. That side is done. This dude, we just need 1, so that would be you. Boom. Yep, surely he knows the water wouldn't actually be poison.
My brain will create nightmares that my body thinks are real. I have to create the antidote fast. First, I need a natural steroid. Extract from an Eclipta alba plant should do the trick. ESU's greenhouse is nearby. Hope it's in season.
Okay, so all we gotta do is avoid the crazy green poison ground and we should be fine. Thankfully, we got buildings that we can pipe onto a little bit close to the ground, and we're good. Alright, so hold on here. 180 meters away. Doesn't seem too crazy yet. About to say, if we were about to sit here and take on Vulture, Electro, and Rhino, or not Rhino.
Should be inside the greenhouse.
If we were about to take on Vulture, Electro, and Scorpion already, that'd be crazy.
Is this real or in my mind?
It can be both.
Doc?
It's just the hallucinations intensifying. You can get through this.
Doc, you sound...
Like I did before the neural interface affected my mind. My obsessions were always there, but the interface allowed me to fully embrace them.
I have to
He's definitely losing it.
fix you. Somehow.
Always trying to shoulder the responsibility, even when there's no hope. I can't tell you how many times unfettered optimism has kept me going when things look bleak. I'll miss being with you. I really will.
I'm sorry, Doc. I'm so sorry.
That was all part of the plan.
You're sorry. And yet, you let it happen. Makes one wonder.
We didn't necessarily let it happen, you sort of did it.
If I was really that important to you, why would you let me destroy myself?
I can help you. It's the neural web. It's affecting your mind. There's the eclectalba.
These are like the hands that we were originally prototyping.
The plans will buy me time, but I need an antitoxin to mix a permanent antidote. One of Harry's research stations was developing a synthetic atropine. Gotta get there fast.
So I think that's kind of...
Giant deadly scorpion tails. Lovely. Thanks, brain.
How you feeling, Spider? Raw panic crawling up your spine.
Scorpion? How'd you get this number?
Always asking the least interesting questions. It's not how am I calling you, it's am I calling you. Maybe I'm just the fevered screams of your dying breed.
Real or no, when I cure this poison, I'm coming for you, Mac.
Big talk from the little bug. Have fun chasing pink elephants.
So the big tails don't seem to be very aggressive. Obviously that one didn't even have like a control attack. It just sort of popped up to scare us a little bit.
There's the research station. We need that atropine. I have to get into the station. Atropine's right there.
Don't worry.
Atropine's gone. Oh, not again.
Okay, so we're back in the other world.
You're too late. Just as you were too late to help me.
This isn't you, Doc.
But it is me. The me polite society found inconvenient. The parts of myself I suppressed. But you helped me break those chains.
I'm sorry. I'll find a way to help you. I swear it.
Stop deluding yourself. You never help anyone. Poison isn't it. You are the poison. Everyone you touch suffers.
Okay, so we can't actually run. We're sort of stuck wall climbing.
I want nothing from you.
Look at that scorpion tail. That is super cool.
And life, love, career. You bring nothing but pain.
No, stop. I'm not giving up on you.
I saw you here, taking notes, stealing ideas, a rat in my own lab. To think I called you a friend.
I am your friend, Otto. Please. There it is. The atropine.
Give me this. Get me back to normal.
Got the atropine. Now I just need to mix up the antidote. Looks like I'm headed back to the lab.
Still with us?
And nearly cured. Sorry to bust up your plans.
Oh, Webbs, don't worry. Plenty of surprises left for you. We'll be seeing each other again real soon.
Count on it.
I'm still really curious, does Doc actually know that we're Spider-Man? Because if he does, then that totally makes sense on how he got our phone. If not, then it's just all in our head. But at the same time, then, what if he knows about the Feast Center? So that'd be the place to go to target to hurt Spider-Man the most. Don't mind me, little tentacles. I'm just going to get past you.
Made it.
Come through here.
Somehow. But I'm running out of time. I need to mix the antidote.
I love how I'm running out of time. Let me just jaywalk through the door.
No more hallucinating.
I think not. You're in my domain now. You're just like Osborn, trying to steal my genius. Everything that happens now is your fault. I knew you were laughing at me. All of you.
Thought I forgot about you.
Scorpion, are you even real?
Hold still. I'll show you.
That gave me an opening. Another.
Okay, so we're definitely gonna have to beat him up.
At least he had an imaginary glass jaw.
There we go. There's Doc Ock's tentacles. That's what I was looking for. Alright, so we're just supposed to zip across here. That way we can get over to the big area. I'm assuming we're going to fight everybody here.
Not gonna be that easy.
Sure it is. Now I know you're the poison trying to distract me. Bring it on. One down.
That's something we know that they're going to be like 1 or 2 hits.
You're a loser. All you'll ever be is a loser.
Can't let him get to me.
Alright, so let's zip up here. Boom. Alright, so we need to web one before he gets too close. There we go. Made it a little bit too far.
Got him.
Alright, so bring him over to our level.
Few more left.
We are out of webs at the moment.
Everyone you ever met suffers.
Nice, there we go.
Knock another one down.
Alright, so we got, what, 2 more left? See, if we use the big webs, will that work? Ooh!
If I was your uncle, I would have jumped in front of a bullet too.
My inner voice has really developed an attitude.
What now?
One more.
Here we go. Alright, so he's webbed.
It's a lot better when you're not around.
Hope that's the last of them. I can barely stand up. There's the centrifuge I need. Finally.
Is that all?
I think I did it. Where'd my suit go? I think I took decontamination a little too far. I'd better put some clothes on. Much better. Let's just go ahead and forget that ever happened.
Well, I think we're back to normal. Alright, so we're going to knock these out real quick, because I don't know if we'd ever actually need to come back here since Doc Ock, you know, is technically crazy, so let's go ahead and knock these out real fast. Alright, so we need 4, so all we have to do is swap some of these around here, so let's go ahead and get a +3. Nice! So, I mean, these are kind of fast and quick anyway, so it shouldn't take too long. there we go. So we need to lower the polarity down a little bit here. So hold on. So we can do 4 for 3. And we need to have one more negative. So that'd be -2 for a -1. We don't have that. So how about a -3? And swap the +3 for a +4. And that should work. Nice. Okay, so we can actually skip that whole part. We didn't even need it. We had a little bit of a leg going off the wrong way, but it sort of worked out for us. So nice.
Doc kept pushing ahead with the neural interface.
Okay, so we're going to need several different connections here. I'm wondering if we actually solve this, if we'd be able to make Doc not a bad guy. All right, so for this one, there's several different paths here. We got 2 of these little branching paths. So we're going to have one right there, and we're going to use one right here in the middle. That way we can have 3 different answers. So let's go and do a +3 there. A -1 is going to be our placeholder. That way we can at least see where we actually need to focus on. Let's do a +2 and a +2. All the polarities around, and boom! Nice!
This thing is the worst kind of science. Dangerous and untested. Doc never should have. He remapped the spatial sensor to work as a targeting system.
Alright, so now we got +9. We got 3 deals we can do. So if we come this way, that'll get us our +6. We need a +3. Boom, swap that over to the other side, and now we have 9. That was actually pretty easy.
The arms into weapons without me even noticing.
Alright, sweet. Well, that's all the ones that we have accomplished.
Ooh, head's still foggy. Need to work the last of this poison out of my system before I tackle the other villains. Good time to go on patrol.
Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.